I know you mentioned Tony Rosa. Were there any coaches in your formative years prior to high school that helped you get better and sharpen your fundamentals, or were you primarily honing your skill set with your guys on your block and with Coach Rosa?
Well, prior to high school, I played with Tone. I started basketball with Tone. I played with Tone until I was about maybe 13, 14, and then I made a transition to play with Guachos. I played with Dave Jones over at Guachos. Mr. Page was over at Guachos. I had Felipe was over there. Wally Lynch was over there. Dennis Keenan was over there. Like, we had a mob.
Right.
Eric Harris was over there. We had a mob over there. So I did that for about 4 years because Tone, they did local basketball, but I needed to travel at a certain point, and someone had put us on to that or whatever. So it wasn't me being disloyal, but I'm like, I needed to go and do my thing and spread my wings. So I went and played with Guachos for a couple years, and we did small fry. I did little lad and all that kind of stuff. We used to work out every day. I used to play super biddies. I played midgets. When I did play with one group, I always practiced with two groups. So that's how I just got better. You know, just putting in the work. You know, even some days I would come home and I would be on the couch sleeping and wake up in the cold sweat like, oh, I got a game. And my moms would be like, boy, if you don't lay down. But it was just intense when we was kids, and that's one thing that I can't relate to now, how some of these kids just don't want to work hard and all that. It was just a thing that we did. Nobody ever had to tell us that this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. Man, that's intense right there. What were some of the fundamentals that seemed to be very, very important when you were a young kid? Like me working in basketball nowadays, I would emphasize very much your footwork, your pivoting, being able to step with your inside foot on your off the dribble jump shots. That's something that I really harness on. I say feet first to almost all the young fellas. Or was something that would always ring off in your head hearing from a particular coach about a certain fundamental?
Well, there's one particular thing that's kind of lost in this day and age as far as basketball, but the pull-up. The pull-up, a lot of kids don't do the pull-up. They either want to boogie and try to get all the way to the cup, or they want to think they Steph Curry and shoot the long ball,
right,
or whatever. But that pull-up, if you can get to the free throw line, you can get to the middle of the court and get that pull-up, especially if you got a little bit of elevation. Right. I had some good elevation. That's one thing. Even Julius Hodge, he grew up playing here in this park too. Steve Hodge's brother was our fifth man, was always our fifth man. And Jules used to always tell me, your pull-up was mean. He used to be here sitting on his basketball, and he used to tell me, like, listen, when I used to watch the game and stuff like that, the pull-up was mean. So that's even one thing that the kids, they be missing right now. They either want to get to the cup and try to see if they could even do some old crazy layup, or they want to try to shoot the long ball that they ain't really got. If you can perfect that pull-up, you can get 10 good points on an easy pull-up. Just by somebody giving you some space and you just popping that open jumper.
I agree with you, man. And unfortunately for these kids, they play in the era where the coaches and the people that hire the coaches see basketball as a mathematical equation, and they want to eliminate the pull-up and tell them, yo, take the three or take the two. It's a higher percentage shot. Right. All of this other stuff. But I agree with you. Sometimes that pull-up is a layup for certain guys. After you done repped it out enough times, it's a layup.
Exactly.